Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 here in the Risoux Forest. We can flip it round and then we can do the next one, we can do it sort of back there and then another one over here so that we, and a road going up in between. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that, but we got 3 of these now. So there's 3 of them right here. This is absolutely fantastic. I got those right there. They're ready to roll. So all I need to do now is now activate them. So we've got planks on there, and we want to activate that one. That one. That's the one that's... He's got 17,000. That one's got 15,000, and this one over here has got nothing. Activate. And you in here, you've got 81,000 wood there, but you've got no planks at the moment. He will be working through it. So I'm now going to go over to the sawmill. Over here. We got timber here on the ground. We got loads of it on the ground. And we've also got a trailer load. And then there's a load more just hanging around beside us as well. So we've got no shortage of timber right here. If I just do that. Just going to fill up the timber again. That's brilliant. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right, I think that we've done pretty well today. I think that's done a really good job with that. So I'm gonna go and sleep, and then we can see what things look like in September. We should have. So I'm just gonna leave the 3 pallets there, the 3 pallets of furniture. Anything else is we'll just count that as lost. So let's skip the night, and then we can see what happens next. I currently have 923 euros, which is not a huge amount of money. We're distributing planks right there. I got 103,000 in timber. So I go to this one, and this one's just about full. I got 147 litres there. This one's got 95 litres. Spawn and spawn. So wood chips right there. I want to change output mode to sell on the wood chips. This one's already on selling. We got 15,000 coming in here. This one I got 4,500 come in. That one I want to change the output mode to selling. And that'll stay like that. So this is 216 cycles per month. Oh, I see. That's why I was looking at the wrong one. 240, 72 per month. Right, that's looking pretty good there. Let's go to the map. We'll jump down here and we'll take a look. Visit. We've got a pallet on each of those. See, we do have like a little bit of grass left down over here, which we would, in theory, be able to use for next time we do silage. But it's honestly, I don't think it's worth the bother. Maybe we will do the run up on the road, but by that point, I will probably have gotten rid of the stuff on the road anyway. So, how's this looking? That's pretty smooth on there. I've got 4 pallets here. There's a space for 1 more pallet there. I quite like the idea of having that warehouse mod, and then it'll automatically take everything back over to this side. Especially now that we've got the space over there. Over here, look. Like, we've got space to put the warehouse here, and then we can just unload it from this point. Except that feels like cheating. If we're going to do the warehouse mod, it will be over with the other stuff, so that we do at least have to drive a little bit to load up our lorry and so on. So we've got 3 of them at the moment. There's nothing else that I want to do, which means that I need to be doing... We'll change it up to faster speed, and then we will do a little bit of editing and stuff up around the houses. I haven't actually got very much money here to be doing construction and landscaping. So I've got a little bit, which will allow us to do a small quantity of stuff here. But, I mean, the money is going up from the rent that we get, so I'm hoping that that will sort of offset things. I'm not sure what to do about the back. I kind of like the idea of having big gardens, which would come back to about there, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that very easily. Something that we can have a look at. But I tell you what we could do is if we start on that. So I want to go to the hedgerow that I was using here. And I think it was the medium one. No, it wasn't. It was the tall one. Right, so we will use the hedgerow and we will... Is it... I'm looking at this and I'm just sort of wondering if that's trying to snap. I think it is, actually. It does sort of snap in a little bit. Right, so I'm kind of thinking that we would like long gardens out the back. So we'll sort of come back to about that point right there. And then the next one is going to end up being there. And then finally that's going to come back up to this point right here, like this. So there is the garden, which means that I need to get these trees out of the way. Now, I'm not necessarily going to remove all of the trees. And then we can do another road or something around the other side of it. Definitely this one here that's close to the house, I think that we should get rid of. So if I remove that one a minute. There. That one back there, I think we might leave it. Right, we'll leave very... No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to leave any of the trees in the gardens because there's a potential that the trees, you know, could fall down on the houses. What we could do is we could plant some smaller trees and shrubs and stuff in there, and that would actually work. And now for the rest of the garden, I'm going to just go into here, and if we go to plants... And we can take the grass and we can paint in grass so that it gets rid of all of the other bits in here as well. So if we just go along like that. And then I can change things over afterwards if I want to. We could sort of add in another couple of little bits. But I don't think we really need to at the moment. We'll just kind of like have a big lawn here. I mean, maybe we could put in a few shrubs and that at the back. So if I add in, I'll tell you what, let's go over here like this, and then I'll put grass up along there like that, and we'll go to about that point. And then we'll take in some shrubs. I don't, like, because of the way that this game actually makes the shrubs and stuff, I'm not sure if we'd be able to have a mod that gave us painting of all the different types of shrubs and plants and everything. So I don't know if that would actually work. I mean, I've said this before, and I will probably just keep wittering on about this over and over, because it's something that I really, really want. And I really do. Like, I think it would be absolutely amazing if we could have some extra bits of stuff in here. I think that would be absolutely amazing. But I don't know if it would be possible with a mod to add in a whole load of extra bits. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually deliberately taking some stone and stuff like that, and then I'm trying to like pile it up a little bit so that we've got just like a little feature in the garden just of some stone here. So I'm just gonna like drop a couple of extras in here, put that one there, and then we'll get, say, that one up on top there, because it doesn't pull the ground up. I think that's actually alright. You know, we've got a bit of a garden. There's a little bit of a wilderness area in the back there. It doesn't have to be spectacular. Your garden doesn't have to be absolutely the bee's knees every time. You know, sometimes it's nice to have one that is amazing, but it doesn't have to be that way every single time. So we'll leave it like that, and we will skip on to the next day. My only issue here is that I think perhaps I have gone like angled slightly wrong on the hedgerow, but I'm not quite sure. So this one up here is, we've got the houses are fairly close together. So I'm kind of thinking that the way we'll do this one is that it's a shared area here, and I've seen this quite a lot, especially in this country. In certain places, you get sort of a shared property line like this and a shared driveway. So this here, although it's in front of them, it's actually a shared driveway. They would be responsible for maintaining that bit between them, and then essentially the property line would come up and across here. So this bit would belong to that house. That bit there, although it comes over this far, would belong to that house. What they've done here is they've added in their own separate driveway, but as it's quite steep, it would have been originally built with just this one here. So it's entirely possible that what the owners of that one said was, we will give you all ownership on this one, provided we can keep a right-of-way on there. So that's why that's got to stay open. So what we'll do is we will treat it like that, and we will go back in here, and we'll remove these trees back here. So I'm going to remove all of these, and we'll do some of the work down the bottom side a little bit later. So it's October at the moment, which means that we're not going to be able to get the best prices for selling anything just yet. So we can worry about that later. And I'll remove all of these trees right here. And I'm thinking that this garden here is actually going to have a few deciduous trees put into it. Now, although I do have the tree harvester and we'll be harvesting trees down over that way, I think for just purposes of doing this bit up here, we can quickly fell the trees like this and get rid of them so they're out of the way. And now we've got that bit. So this garden over here, this house is actually a bit more expensive than the others, and so you've sort of got a bit more room. One thing that I don't like with the landscaping, which is something that I'm just going to have to go and correct now, is the softening, that the leveling bit doesn't bring up the terrain. It only pushes down the terrain. So it will push it down there, but it won't bring this up to, he says, as it quite literally just brought it up then. Didn't it? Push that down there. No, I don't think it did. It doesn't actually seem to... No, it was the trick of the shadows. It doesn't seem to actually, like, raise the level of the terrain, and it's a bit of a nuisance. So what you've got to do is you've got to use this one. Use this one, the raise lower. Now, you K and L. If I press L, I can make that much stronger, and it goes a lot faster. So press K until it's as weak as it can go. And then start bringing it up like this. If you want to, bring it up in a tower like that. That doesn't matter. That's not going to hurt anything, right? That will not affect anything. Just raise the level. If you've got a bit that you want to kind of like smooth and bring into more of a slope. If you want a straight slope, you can use that feature there. But if you want to just kind of like level off the lower corner of a slope, you want to round it a bit more, you've got to do it like this. I have found, which is why it generally works better to have the free landscaping. So say, and the other key is if you're unsure what you're doing and you're worried that you're going to damage something and you're going to spoil the look of it, use save, right? Save often. And then now that I've raised that up, I can then use a wide area softening tool. And I can soften that down quite nicely. I'm trying to beat the daylight here now. It's winter, so it's disappearing a lot faster. Let me come out of there. And now if you have a look at it, we've got a beautiful, beautiful soft... See, I deliberately took that up quite high in the middle. But all you've got to do is just fill in and raise the bit that you want to sort of soften out, and then you can blend it down through. Because it will push down, it just won't pull up with the softening tool. So as long as you remember that, it does a really good job of it. Okay, so there's October all done and dusted. We didn't do a huge amount there. We did get rid of a few trees, and we softened out the sides. That's all good. I've had a little bit of feedback on what we should try and focus on. Oh, really? The trees are doing that thing again? It was a I needed to do a graphics update last time, and it sort of worked, but... Also, I have noticed that shadows can play a part in it. If you put that down to 1x speed and move around, sometimes it fixes it and sometimes it doesn't. It appears that today is going to be one of those times where it doesn't fix it, so we're just going to ignore it. And it's probably going to happen for half the winter. If I do that... No, that doesn't get rid of it either. Alright. So yeah, it was I just did a graphics card update, and it did a really good job of dealing with that issue. But now it's come back temporarily. This seems to be more of a game issue, because I get it on other maps as well, and graphics card, you literally, I think, you got to play around with things. Shadows is one, but you can't access shadow settings from here. You've got to go out to the main game to... I've got additional settings. This is a mod. You haven't got graphics... You haven't got very much graphics in here. You've got to go out to the main game, the main menu, to be able to deal with it. But if you turn off foliage shadows, apparently that is also supposed to cure it. But you get up close to it and it stops doing it. But it's something to do with foliage shadows. And I don't know what that something is. So let's try to ignore it and try not to look at it. And then hopefully we can do something here. So... Now that I've blended out the side on there, it's not quite how I want it, but we can do a little bit more of blending on there. Actually, I think maybe we'll do the blending bit first. So, landscape. So, there's a bit just here that I kind of want to smooth out a bit. So, I'm just going to bring that up round there like that. And then I want to... sort of smooth it back down again like that. Let's really make that bigger like that. There we go. I guess... I was going to say, I guess it's a good thing that it doesn't overdo it with, like, raising stuff up next to houses, but actually it would probably make life easier for me if it did do that. Right. There we have a little bit like that. And that's reasonably smooth. Okay, so then I'm going to want to pick out a fence line to go down through here. We'll see if we can get that picked out before dark. Actually thinking that... No, I don't want that one. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. It's a fairly generic sort of fence line, but it doesn't look out of place in a property like this. And I actually don't want it that way round. Is there a way? Yes, I do want it that way round, because for inside a garden... Personally, I'd rather be looking at the fence than I would be looking at anything else. So we will do this. I want to bring it up to that level over there, so it's just at the end of that patch of weeds. And now I want to line up here, so it's sort of in line with the house. And there seems to be about right there. And then this one's going to come down here. And we're going to do both properties enclosed with this fence. Like this. And it's going to come down to there. Oh, I see. It's going red there. It's colliding with the object. If I bring it up to the back. There. Perfect. Right. So we've got our fence built up through there, and then we've got the property dividing line here. Now this one, it would not be unusual to have it from the edge of the concrete there and have that one come down here. So this property has actually got less of a garden than the other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around and we're going to take it from that point there, which might be the wrong place. And we will say that the big house is the one that paid for it. And now I can't see anything, so we'll come back to that later. Let me go back onto the map on it. Actually, what I want to do is I want to go on here and we want to see what the silage price is. 548 at the moment, goes 567 in January. I haven't got anything else that I'm going to be wanting to sell in January other than wood chips, I suppose. We could store the wood chips and then we could go and collect them, but honestly I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather just sell the wood chips off each month and be done with, and then the furniture we sell in July, so we don't want that either. So let's just skip until next month. Animals. What animals? And this is something that I've been thinking about and whether I should do cows on this series or do pigs on this series and cows on the hardcore series. And cows are easier to sort of get started with because you can just put grass in them, and they need more money, which, and because they're sort of a much more substantial investment, and I've already got some arable stuff set up on the new hardcore series, I'm thinking that this one we will go with cows. I think it's going to work out better for us if we just have cows on this one. So we're going to set up a dairy farm on here, and I really want to get rid of that horrible flashing. I don't like that at all, so I'm not going to do any more of the bit up there. What I will do is if I start loading our stuff from here, once the trees have got the leaves come off, they'll stop doing their horrible flashing for a day or two, and then it only seems to be the autumn. It only seems to be the autumn that it's doing it. So let's just reverse you up here and start loading. So there's no grass, no straw. There is 500,000 litres of silage in there, which is going to take a minute or two to load up. So while that is loading, we've got silage prices here. 567. It's 569 already. Taking a bit of a risk, and I skipped the night again through to January. Still says 569. It went to 570, but that's as high as it's gone. But now I've got the green marker on there. So I'm going to just speed that up a little bit and see if it changes to anything else. Right, it doesn't seem to be changing, so I'm not going to risk it anymore. I'll drop it down to 5 times speed. The trees have now mercifully stopped flickering. It seems to be autumn. Autumn seems to be the worst bit when the leaves are going brown. Once the leaves have dropped off in January, because in December they're still sort of the last stages of it. They don't like it. I think it's to do with foliage shadows. I think if you get rid of foliage shadows, it can deal with the issue a bit. But yeah, it's just a case of experimentation, I think. Or you can set the visual appearance to a set month. So we could try and do that later on and see if that sort of helps us out. But anyway, we have got silage on offer, 569 per 1,000 litres. So we're going to bring our case beastie in here. If I'm going to be raising cattle, then obviously we're going to be wanting to start working towards that, as well as our town and everything else. And I think cattle is going to work out quite well, because sheep is my focus on the time-lapse series at the moment. Pigs is going to end up being my Calmlands one, because, and I might do sheep on there as well. But cattle are much more expensive to get into, so they would end up being later in that series if I was to get into them at all, because hardcore is, you know, a lot more difficult. Here, money's not really a problem. with all the rented property that we've got and everything else that we're doing, money isn't really much of an issue. We've got 136,000 there from load number 1. We'll go over and we get load number 2, so that'll be another 136,000, which is very large quantities of money coming in. So I've got to decide what to do with these large quantities of money. So there's going to be another 136 there. I'm actually going to slow that all the way down there for a moment, and we just zoom out a minute and then head down over this way. So I've got field 17 is up there right in front of us. I've already got furniture filling those up, and then I'm going to want more of these. Now, I've been told that we should be able to get 5 factories running off of them. But, oh, I'm out of space for the furniture there. Planks, that's not full. That's not full. Wood from the sawmill, that's not full. So 3 of them, they haven't filled up the planks. Although this one here, furniture being made from planks, I've now filled up the storage space available on that. I don't know if this is starting to fill up a little bit for distribution. It should be distributing. That's distributing. You coming in here. Yeah, that's... Oh, the planks are full. That's the... sorry, I'm looking at the wrong bit. So planks are full on here, but that one's completely full there for lack of space. So while that one... Actually, we'll fill this one up completely. I could get a couple more of them. I don't have the money yet to go and buy the bit of farmland back here, but it doesn't actually look like I need to do it. No, not that bit. Not that bit at all. It's this bit. Where our houses are here, it's this around field 19. We could then expand field 19, and we could expand this one. This one would expand this way and down this way. Field 19, considering that I was going through the woods and it looked like I wasn't actually that far away from field 19 anyway. I'm not sure that we want to be buying that yet. Go to map overview. I can't see if there's anything here. Actually, I can go to grass. No, it's still not going to tell me if there's anything there. But there's that road that comes out there. So it's around that point right there. So I'm pretty much right on the border of it. If I want to be building too much more, I'm going to need to buy this one, or we don't have the money for it. But I did also want to buy that one to make life a bit easier for us, and that's 152,000. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.